Greetings, Shadow Sprites! I'm Seraphina Shadowgrave, and as you know, I am a huge, long-time Vocaloid fan. So I wanted to share some of my hot takes, or maybe some unpopular or controversial opinions, and I'm just gonna get right into it. And my first hot take is that I personally have no problem with new gen fans, and I don't understand the hate from some of my fellow old gens. A few years ago, we thought that Vocaloid was dying. I don't understand why people are upset that there's new fans. If anything, we should be happy that there are still people interested in such an old fandom. And a lot of new gens are young, just like I was when I first got into Vocaloid at around 12. New gens should be welcomed, and if anything, us older fans should be the ones teaching them about older songs and fandom lore and etiquette. I think we should embrace new gens and embrace the new aspects of the fandom as it grows and evolves. We can't be stuck in the ways back from like 2014 to 2016. The fandom will never last if we are stuck to the past. I think new gens should be embraced and welcomed. And if they don't know things or are wrong, then we can just gently correct them. I don't think people need to argue. And to new gen fans, I think it's important to be open to learning. I'm always learning more, and I think we all can learn more. So just be open to hearing what other people have to say. Whether you're an old fan, a new fan, or just here for the ride, just checking it out. My second hot take is that I have never played Project Sekai, Colorful Stage, and I probably never will. This might be my most controversial opinion and maybe my most unpopular, but I personally feel like adding real human singers completely undermines the purpose of a Vocaloid rhythm game. I like Vocaloid for the fact that they are vocal synthesizers. Why are there real people in my vocal synthesizer game? I don't understand. I am a big fan of the Project Diva series, and I really enjoyed Project Diva Future Tone. I know that Project Diva is kind of dead at this point, and I accept that, but I wish that Project Sekai just focused on the Vocaloids and didn't implement the human singers. It completely turned me off to the game, and no, I love rhythm games, and I play so many, but I can't get past the fact that there's human singers in it when it's supposed to be a Vocaloid game. Why are they there? They shouldn't be there. And a bonus hot take that matches this one about the fact that I'm very loyal to Project Diva, but yes, it has run its course, is that I don't like the Mega Mix art style at all. That may be me being an old gen, but the Future Tone style is my favorite. That's also the one I'm used to on the PlayStation 4, so it's really not that old. Maybe it is and I'm just not realizing it, but I miss the Future Tone style. I love those modules. There's such great modules in that game. I think the track list is good, the maps are good, the charts are good. I agree that making it a mobile game, in terms of Project Sekai, making Project Sekai a mobile game makes it a lot more accessible. You don't need to have any sort of console or a PC. So I understand why it's so much more popular, but I just can't get into it. That doesn't mean the game's bad, it just means that the game isn't for me. My third hot take is that Miku is not overrated. I've seen this take for years, and I just don't agree with it. Miku isn't my favorite Vocaloid, and I don't think she has the best voice bank, but she is the most iconic. And if you're a Vocaloid producer, you're going to want to use the most popular Vocaloid to get people to check out your song. It's kind of hard to argue her iconicness, her iconic status, and her fame. She's the very first Kryptonloid, and that's what really set Vocaloid into motion. So like it or not, without Miku, there wouldn't be a Vocaloid fandom at all. Her design is instantly recognizable, and so is her voice, to the point where even non-fans know her, and they usually don't know anyone else. If they do, it's either Tato or maybe Rin and Len, but Miku's always the most identifiable. And do I wish other Vocaloids were used more often? Absolutely. Do I think other Vocaloids sound better? Absolutely. But I believe that Miku is too important to be considered overrated. So many people are focusing on her voice when talking about her being overrated, but I think when we're talking about something being overrated, it's more, people are saying it's more important or valuable than it really is. But Miku really is truly valuable and important, and like it or not, she is. And I'm afraid that's just a fact. So I don't agree with that. I don't agree that Miku's overrated, and this is a take that's been passed around for years, and it may be unpopular, but I don't agree. The next hot take is that shipping wars need to stop. This has been going on for ages. There's going to be a lot of sub-takes within this one, but most importantly, why are we shipping computer software? They don't even have canon personalities. Everything is a headcanon. It is all up to you, the user, the song creator, the artist. It's all up to you. We shouldn't be arguing about them because there's nothing canon. There's no canon information, basically. It is all up to each of us. So nobody's right, nobody's wrong, and people just need to stop fighting about this. This goes into the other issue about character ages. So a lot of Vocaloids don't even have a canon age, and those who do, you can decide what age you want the character to be. Their official designs can be changed too. They can be whatever you want. If you want to age up a character, you can. I personally love the design of the aged up Rin with long hair that's in Project Diva. And on the album cover for Meltdown by Iroha, with that half colored dress, like the black and white dress with the long hair. That is a great Rin design. I love that one. There is an exception to this, which is Kai Yuki and Oliver, because they were voiced by actual real-life children, so they are the exception to this, but I'm pretty sure most people agree. But lots of people talk about, like, oh, Miku's 16, Miku's 16. Well, does she age? Was she born when her software was released? Will she be, like, you can draw her however you want, like, and she can be whatever age you want because she's not real. As long as you're not making her look like a child, then that's fine. And as long as you aren't doing weird stuff with the child Vocaloids, then you're fine. People always talk about how Kaito's middle-aged. He doesn't have an official age. That was just, like, other, like, people in the community saying that, but that was never canon. And then you have, like, Ritsu, whose age is, like, 0. Or, no, Rana. Rana's age is, like, 0, and Ritsu's is, like, I don't know, 2. And that's just not... They're just made up. They're just made up ages. And it doesn't reflect the character's design at all, or their voice provider. So I think shipping wars in general need to stop, and the arguments about character ages need to stop, because they are computer software. They are mascots for computer software. They are not even... They're technically not even really characters per se, because they don't have personalities. They're mascots. It's like the Pillsbury Doughboy or Tony the Tiger. So I think people don't really argue about those kinds of things. So it's just kind of, not like I want to say pointless, because that feels like a bit harsh, but shipping in the Vocaloid fandom, people take way out of proportion, I feel like, and people argue, and I just don't think it's necessary. And there's a big reminder here that Rin and Len don't have any sort of canon relationship besides being mirror images. This is a big one. People talk about this one a lot. So you can interpret the mirror images as familial, romantic. It's up to you. It's very vague. So I personally see them as twins, and I do not ship them. But songs where they are a couple are fine, because the creator doesn't see them the same way I do. As long as you don't ship them and see them as twins, then we're fine. The next hot take is that I miss songs where Vocaloids acknowledge that they're not real, and the tuning reflects that. If there are any modern Vocaloid songs with this premise, please let me know in the comments. I feel like so many people are focusing on making vocal synths sound human, but I really like when they sound robotic, especially when the song itself is about that very concept. Pinocchio P has several songs like this, and of course there's Disappearance of Hatsune Miku and Odds and Ends. I think that vocal synths are such a cool technology, and we should embrace that technical part. Vocaloids can do things that human singers can't, and we should be taking full advantage of that rather than trying to make them sound more human or as human as possible. I think having such an amazing technology as vocal synthesis allows us to do such creative things. It's an amazing creative tool, and I feel like we should be using that to the fullest instead of just making it sound more like a person. If you want a person, hire a singer. I feel like Vocaloids are very unique, and I feel like sometimes we're so focused on advancing technology and making them sound more realistic that we forget that the fact that they're digital, the fact that they're not real, is actually a good thing and can be used creatively to your advantage and can make songs unique and special that a human singer couldn't do. The last hot take I have is that on average, I feel like female voice banks sound better than male. I feel like so many male Vocaloids are kind of mid compared to the various female voice banks. I do really love VY2, and Len is still a favorite of mine, even though I can acknowledge his voice isn't exactly the best. But Kaito, Gakupo, Kyoteru, Yohialoid, etc. I feel like just don't stack up compared to the many, many amazing female voice banks. And I don't know why this is, but my guess is that people are using the male Vocaloids at too high of a range. Typically the songs where male Vocaloids sound the best, in my opinion, are when they get to sing in a deeper tone. I also feel like slower songs tend to suit them better. I know some of my favorite VY2 songs are slower, are deeper. He uses a lower register, and I think that suits him a lot better. I have heard VY2 used in a falsetto at a very high-pitched voice that sounds very feminine, and that can work too. But I think if you want a good sounding male voice bank, you need to use them at the lower register. Again, there's creative uses for them in all areas. Len can sound good pitched up really high on occasion. But in general, I tend to feel like female voice banks have a better sound quality, have a better unique sound compared to the male Vocaloids that are out there. I do think the synth V banks are pretty good for male. I do like Mr. Kevin synth V. Kevin is one of my favorite synth Vs. It's a shame that the synth V characters, so many of them don't really have a canon design. Like Kevin is like just the letter K, and that's kind of disappointing. At least with like VY1 and VY2 we had the swords, and then fan designs came after that. That's why I like the Mr. Kevin synth V design. I think that one's so funny. I'll put the artist on screen for who developed the design, but it's absolutely one of my favorites. I love it. I think we should have more funny Vocaloid mascots. I don't think they all need to be like anime characters. I know the human ones don't really work out that well, like with Cyber Diva and Cyber Songman, but I think we should have more like silly fun ones. That's like a little bonus thought in there, a little bonus opinion for you. Those are my Vocaloid hot takes. I want to know if you agree with some of them, if you completely disagree, and why. If we could have like a nice discussion in the comments, no arguing please. These are all just opinions of my own. I'm not coming for anybody, I'm not attacking anybody, but I want to hear your thoughts. I think it's interesting. I want to hear your thoughts from new gens and old gens alike. I've been in the Vocaloid fandom for over 10 years, and I like to hear from other people and their thoughts, because Vocaloid is something I'm very passionate about, and I like sharing it with others. So if you like this content and want to see some more Vocaloid videos in the future, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of February, and we're getting pretty close, so I would really appreciate it if you subscribe for more. And thank you for watching. Farewell, my shadow sprites, till we meet again.